So it is of 4 credits. So teaching is 3 hours per a week and 2 hours tutorials per week. Okay. So subject code is UME 304C. UME 304C. So let us look out into syllabus. Okay. So unit 1, it's of a simple stress and strain. Okay. So in that one, introduction to strength of material, what is stress, what is strain, and some mechanical properties of the material. Then what is the meaning of linear elasticity, Hooke's law, and Poisson's ratio. Next is a stress strain relationship behavior in tension for mild steel and for non-ferrous materials. Okay. Next, extension and shortening of a bar when it is subjected to axial loads or compression loads. Okay. Next, similarly, it is extension shortening of a bar with cross sections varying in steps. Okay. So bars with continuously varying cross sections. Okay. You have a two type of cross sections here. One is circular, another one is rectangle. Okay. So bars with cross sections varying in steps, it is a different bit, and bars with continuously varying cross section is a this is one different bit. Okay. Next, elongation due to self weight. Elongation due to self weight. Then principle of superposition. So when a material or a component is subjected to multiple loads in one direction. Okay. Next, stresses in composite sections. Composite sections means if it is made up of more than two metals, and if you combine together, then what is the stress is going to exert over the component. Okay. Next bit is volumetric strain. Okay. Expressions for volumetric strain and derivation of elastic constants with related to each other. Okay. With related to each other. So next, simple shear stress, and what is the meaning of simple shear strain. Then temperature stresses. So temperature stresses, you have an only one component calculation or determination of a stress when it is subjected to temperature of only one kind of material. Only one kind metal. Another one case, if it is made up of two materials, then what it is behavior under temperature. Okay. This is all about unit 1. So next, unit 2, you have a compound stresses. Okay. Introduction to compound stress. Then what is the meaning of a plane stress, and what are the stresses you are going to get on inclined sections. Okay. Next, principal stresses and maximum shear stresses. Then calculation of maximum stresses, that is what maximum principal stress and minimum principal stress, and orientation of the principal plane and shear stress frame using Mohr circle method. Okay, using Mohr circle method. So next chapter is thick and thin cylinders. Okay, thick and thin cylinders. So here you are going to study what is the meaning of cylinder. Okay, what is the meaning of cylinder, and what are the types of cylinder you are going to get. Okay, then stresses in thin cylinders. What are the different type of stresses you are going to get in a thin cylinder? Then what are the dimensions it is going to change when it is subjected to internal pressure? What is the change in diameter? What is the change in length? And what is the change in volume? That is what changes in dimensions of a cylinder. So next one is thick cylinders. Okay, so how you are going to define a thick cylinder, and what are the stresses you are going to get when it is subjected to internal and external pressures. Internal and external pressures. So now derivation of the stresses for thick cylinder, it is termed as a Lamage equation. It is termed as a Lamage equation. Okay. Now this is what Lamage equation. Now in thick cylinders, compound cylinders are not included. Only you have one cylinder, not a compound cylinders. Okay. So what is the meaning of compound? Someone say, what is the meaning of compound? No one hearing? Surya Prakash, what is the meaning of compound? Okay, body has two different loads. Vinay Kamani, what is a compound? Composition of element. Not in a chemistry, in physics. Okay, let it be. Compound means if it is made up of more than one material. If it is made up of two material, then it is also compound. If it is made up of three material, then it is also compound. Okay. Now let us look into unit 3. What are the syllabus included here? Now unit 3 consists of mainly two chapters here. One is bending moment and shear force in beams. Okay. In that you are going to study what is the meaning of beams and what are the different type of beams and what are the different type of loads going to act on a beam and how we are going to calculate the reactions. Okay. Next bit, shear forces and bending moment. What is the definition and what is the meaning of shear force and what is the meaning of bending moment. Then the relations between rate of loading as well as sign conventions. Next, relationship between shear force and bending moment. Okay. Next, shear force and bending moment diagrams for different beams subjected to different type of loads. Okay. That is what concentrated loads, uniform distributed load, okay, and couple for different type of beams. For different types of beams. Next chapter is bending and shear stresses in beams. Now this chapter is concerns with the calculation of what is the bending moment, maximum bending moment, what is the shear force, okay, maximum shear force to obtain the bending stress and shear stress, okay, in beams. Now in bending and shear stresses in beams, okay, bending and shear stresses in beams. So it is what introduction. Next, theory of simple bending. Theory of simple bending. Next, assumptions in simple bending. What are the assumptions you need to make or you need to consider while deriving the bending stress equation. Then relation between bending stresses and radius of curvature. Relation between bending stresses and radius of curvature. Okay. Then relationship between bending moment and radius of curvature. So here we have a two relationship, I think, except only one word. Now this is what bending stress. Now here, bending stress and bending moment. Okay. What is the relationship between bending stresses and radius of curvature? Then relationship between bending moment and radius of curvature. Okay. Next, bending moment carrying capacity of a section. What is the maximum bending moment that can carry of a section? Next, shearing stresses in beams. Okay. Next, shearing stresses in beams. Then shear stress across a rectangular cross section, circular cross section, symmetrical large section, and T sections. Okay. So now, composite and fletched beams are not included. Composite and fletched beams are not included. You need to find out the bending stress and shear stress for simple beams, not a compound beams. Okay. Next, unit 4. It has 3 chapters. Deflection of beams, okay, torsion of circular shafts, and introduction to columns. Now in deflection of beams, I have introduction to deflection of beams, differential equation for deflection, differential equation for deflection, then equations for deflection, slope and movement. Okay. Then double integration method for cantilever and simply supported beams for a point load, UDL, UVL and couple. What is the meaning of UDL? I think you come across this term in engineering mechanics. Sunil Leggond. Sunil had gone. What is the meaning of UDL? Engineering mechanics. Umesh Karannavar. UDL ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Okay. So UVL means uniformly vertical load. No, wrong. Venkatesh Bandari. What is the meaning of UVL? Uniformly variable load, right? So UDL stands for uniformly distributed load. UVL stands for uniformly variable load. Okay. So now double integration method for cantilever and simply supported beams for point load, UDL, UVL and couple. I think that bit is repeated. Okay. Next is Macaulay's method to find out the deflection slope as well as the load carrying capacity. Okay. Next chapter is torsion of circular shafts. In torsion of circular shafts, so introduction is there. So what is the meaning of torsion? Then what is the meaning of pure torsion? And what are the assumptions you are going to consider for derivation of torsional shear stresses? Okay. Now derivation of torsional equations. Okay. Then in that one, what is the meaning of polar modulus? Then torsional rigidity or stiffness of shafts, power transmitted by solid and hollow circular shafts. Okay. Next bit is introduction to columns. So now introduction to columns includes the introduction is there. Next, Euler's theory for axially loaded elastic long columns. Next, derivation of Euler's load for various end conditions, and what are the limitations of Euler's theory. Then what is the meaning of Rankine's formula to find out the buckling of the columns. Okay, buckling of the columns. So it is all about the syllabus. Okay? It is all about the syllabus. So next books. Now we have a textbooks here. Mechanics of Materials, Hebler. Okay. Mechanics of Materials, James Gary Thompson. Okay. Mechanics of Materials, Beer and Johnson. Okay. Mechanics of Materials. So Ansel C. Ugrol. Okay. Next, references. Reference books. You can refer Strength of Materials, S.S. Bhavikatti. Okay. So Strength of Material, K.V. Rao and Raju. Next, Engineering Mechanics of Solids. You can refer Popao. Mechanics of Solids, Mobin. Okay. And Strength of Materials, Nash. Next, Mechanics of Materials by Ansel Ugrol. Okay. Mechanics of Materials by Ansel Ugrol. You can refer these books. Okay. Now we are referring two books here. Okay. One is S.S. Bhavikatti, another one is Rao and Raju. Okay. Another one is Rao and Raju. So in some cases, I am going to use the Strength of Materials, W.A. Nash. W. Nash. So now this is what all about the syllabus. It is all about the syllabus. Now we'll go for introduction. Introduction to strength of material. Now you need to study the strength of material to get the material behavior under different loading conditions. Okay, material behavior under different loading conditions. So now this subject is not meant for only mechanical students. So now this subject is going to be studied by different branches also. Okay? So now the strength of material subject is becoming a multidisciplinary subject, because if you take an electronic student, so if they want to design a circuit board, PCB board, so they must know so how much temperature it can withstand. If the temperature is more, okay, how the PCB board is going to be behave, whether if the temperature is more, the soldering is going to be sustainable or not, so whether the PCB material is going to be sustainable or not. So now they are going to study in their different field. Okay? That is what strength of material subject is, a basic need to study the material behavior under different loading conditions. So the load may be of a tensile load may be of a compressive load, so load may be of a shear load, or load may be in temperature, right? So now we'll start a general meaning of stress here. General meaning of stress. Now to understand this one, so let us take an member here. So I'll take a member. So this is not an inclined one, it is exactly straight line. So because of the writing pad, I am not drawing it exact vertical. Let us take a member which is subjected to load P. Okay. So now what happens to the member? Can someone say? What happens to the member? Whether member remains same if you apply the load, or it is going to make a changes. Whether it's the same remains same, or the shape is going to change. Chaugla, Vivek Chaugla, what happens to the member if you apply the load at both ends? Remains the same. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳತ್ತಾರಲ್ಲೋ, Now let us. Now as the load is applied, okay, so it is going to change its shape. It is going to elongate, right? It is going to elongate, right? So now as elongation takes place, the material is subjected to some resisting force inside it. So it try to resist in opposite direction. Okay. Suppose for analysis purpose and for imagination, so what I'll do, I'll just go and cut this bar. Okay. Now let us look over. So now this is what applied load P. Okay. Now as you apply the load, if more load is there, it is going to be break, right? Now this is what the shear load. This is what? Sharing load. One more load is going to be generated, or one more resisting force will be generated. That is what? In vertical direction, resisting force. That is what? Resisting force. Right? So now resisting force is normal to the plane. Resisting force is normal to the plane. Now this resisting force is normal to the plane, right? So now this is a plane you have considered normal to the plane. So now what happens here? So the intensity of resisting force normal to the section plane is called as a normal stress. Is called as a normal stress. Okay. So how? Let us see. Now to get the component in equilibrium condition, okay. So now this resisting force is acting in upward direction. Okay, so applied force is in downward direction. Suppose if you want to get the equilibrium in condition of any one part, either you can consider the upward part or you can consider the lower part. So now what is the condition to get the equilibrium state? Now this resisting force is to be equal to applied force, right? So then only this member is under equilibrium condition. Right? Then only member is under equilibrium condition. So now what happens? As I said, stress is equal to what? Force by area. As I said, stress equal to force by area. Now the intensity of resisting force you come across for equilibrium condition. So the resisting force, okay, you can consider this as Fr, should be equal to the applied load. That is what P. Now stress is defined as the intensity of resisting force normal to the sectional plane is called as intensity of normal stress. Okay, or resistance offered by a body against the deformation per unit area is termed as a stress. So now based on basic definition of stress, okay, so stress sigma equal to Fr by A. Now Fr is what? It is the resisting force. Now if you replace based on equilibrium condition, now P by A, because so Fr equal to P based on equilibrium condition, right? Based on equilibrium condition. So then you can say, so stress equal to P by A. So units is Newton per mm square. The force which is acting the tangential to the surface or tangential to the plane is called as an shearing resistance. So notations for this normal stress. So notation for normal stress, it has been referred in some book as a small f, small p. Some book they have gone for a sigma. Okay? Now these are the notations for normal stress. Now actually so we are going to study the variable stresses with some concept. We'll discuss that one in next class. Okay, so how the variable stresses is going to occur. Okay, we'll discuss that one. So next one is unit of stress. Next is unit of stress.
My stand. My stand. Mobile stand. More foot. Bluetooth इतना मस्त है.
So now unit of stress. So you know unit of stress, okay? It is what Newton per mm square, okay? Or kilonewton per mm square, or mega Newton per mm square, okay? Or Newton per meter square, kilonewton per meter square, and mega Newton per meter square. Mega Newton per meter square. So let us go for the unit conversion here. So you have come across one word megapascal. What is the meaning of megapascal? So what is the MPa? What is the meaning of MPa? Someone say. Srivatsa Kulkarni, MPa andreno? Megapascal. Mega means 10 raised to 6. Okay, let us look out here. Now mega means it's 10 raised to 6. Okay, so PA means Pascal. Now you need to know 1 Newton per mm square equal to 1 megapascal. Now a lot of your seniors are going to make a mistake at the conversion time itself. Okay, so be careful while you are converting the units. Now let us prove here. Pascal, what is the unit of Pascal? What is the unit of Pascal? Pascal is unit, you know. Hello. Veeresh Ranjanigi. Pascal is unit, you know. Are you there or not? Soumya, what is the unit of Pascal? Soumya B. Soumya B. Are you there or not? Hello? Hello? Hey, what is the unit of Pascal? Surya Prakash, Umesh Karan Never, Vinay Kamani. Hello? Kg per meter second. Kg per meter second square. Let us write here kg per, someone says meter second, meter square second. Is it right? ಏನು ಬಡ ಬಡ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇರಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇರಲಿ ಮೊದಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ 1 Pascal equal to 1 Newton per meter square. Okay, Pascal equal to 1 Newton per meter square. So now let us substitute here. So how we are going to get omega Pascal? So omega means it is a 10 raised to power of 6 Newton, okay, per meter square, okay, per meter square. So now you need to convert this one in terms of Newton per mm square. So let us substitute it here. So 1 meter equal to 1000 mm. Okay, 1 meter equal to 1000 mm. So here you have a 10 to power of 6. Now this is what meter, mm into mm. Okay, so if you multiply here 10 to power of 6, 10 to power of 3 into 10 to power of 3, you are going to get 1 Newton per mm square, right? So 1 megapascal equal to how much? It is 1 Newton per mm square, right? So you need to convert the units also. You need to convert units also. Now, so we'll go for the different type of stresses here. We'll go for different type of stresses. So what are the different types of stresses you are going to get in strength of material? So normal stress means the stress which is occurs. So occurs to a plane. Okay? Normal stress and a component is subjected to load. So the resisting force is going to occur over a normal surface. So that stress is, we are going to call it as a normal stress. So now we have another one type of stress here. We have another one type of stress. That is what? Tensile stress. That is what? Tensile stress. Okay. So now tensile stress, already we have noted one diagram. So let us go for one more diagram. Now consider a bar. Consider a bar, okay, P, okay, which is subjected to tensile load. So let us take this is a L, okay, length of bar. Now this is what width. This is what depth. Okay, this is what depth. So now, as load is applied, okay, so now it goes for elongation here. It goes for elongation, right? So now in this case what happens? Length increases, okay, length increases, other dimensions decreases. Other dimensions decreases, okay. Now how you are going to turn the tensile stress? In a simple word, the stresses are called tensile stresses, okay, when the fibers of component tend to extend or elongate due to an external force, okay. So in which direction fibers are tend to elongate or extend? That is what? In load direction. In load direction, right? In load direction. So you can say tensile stress when the fibers of a component tend to extend or elongate due to external force in a load direction, then you can say the stress induced is tensile stress. So notation for tensile stress, okay, so sigma T equal to P by A. So where P is applied load, okay, so A is cross sectional area, okay, so sigma T is stress, okay? Unit is Newton per mm square, area is mm square, load is P, right? This is what definition of tensile stress. So now let us go for the compressive stress here. Let us go for compressive stress. So can someone say, referring the tensile stress definition, compress means what? Compress means what? Pardon? ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ನೀವೊಂದೇನ್ರ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡಿದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಹೌದಾ, ಲೆಟಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಎನ್ ಸ್ಪಾಂಜ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸ್ಪಾಂಜ್ ಹಿಡಿದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪಂಜ್ ಬಾಲ್ ಹಿಡಿದಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕಾಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್? ವೆದರ್ ದ size remains same, size remains same or size is squeezed, right? If a squeeze is there, so whether the dimensions remain same or dimensions as reduced, it is going to reduce, okay? ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಸ್ಪಂಜ್ ಬಾಲನ್ನು ಫುಲ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದರ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತವೆ? ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾವೆ. ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಆಗುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಸಣ್ಣವರಿದ್ದಾಗ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪಂಜ್ ಬಾಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಆಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು imagine, if you press it completely, the dimensions are going to change, okay? That means dimensions are diminished or dimensions are shortened, okay? So now similarly, the compressive stress, the stresses are called compressive when the fibers of a component tend to shorten due to an external force, right? So let us consider a bar again here. Let us consider a bar. Because of color mismatch, I am unable to place my cursor properly. Right? Now if you take dimensions L, W and a D, okay? What happens? So now length is shortened here, okay? Length is shortened, right? So other dimensions increases here. Other dimensions increase, right? Now you can say the stresses are called compressive stress, okay? So when the fibers of component okay, tend to shorten in the load direction, okay, in the low direction, right? So you can say due to external force in the low direction, or you can say due to external force, right? This is what compressive stress. This is what compressive stress. Now, another one type of stress is shear stress. Another one type of stress is shear stress. Now you are going to study shear stress fully when you come to the definition of pure shear stress. Pure shear stress. So now let us go for the understanding of what is the shear stress here. What is the shear stress? So just I want to quote one example. I think you used a scissor to cut the papers or to cut some piece of papers at a time. Have you used scissor? Have you used scissor? ಕತ್ರಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ ಪೇಪರ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದರ ಒಂದು ರಬ್ಬರ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಓಕೆ, so let us take an example. You have a rubber, okay, or you have a pencil. Now you want to cut it. ಸೊ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನು ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ? Let us look out here. So I'll show you in a video. Okay, I'll show you in a video. So video is visible now. Video is visible or not? Wait a minute. Wait. Now videos, are you getting video? You just go and pin to my account. You just go and make a pin to my account. You'll get a video. Hey, we have one icon with guitar, right? So Malingappa Davangere. If you have one icon, guitar, okay, you just pin it, you will get a video. So now let us take it, this is a pin, okay, this is what an element, or you can consider this as a pencil. Suppose if you want to make it into two pieces, so what you will do? So you are taking a scissor, okay, and you are going to cut it in this way. So now how many jaws are there in a scissor? Two jaws. Okay. So what happens as you pass, it's going to shear off. Okay. So now this entity becomes broken out, or they are sheared off. Right. So similarly, the shearing is required. That means the shear force you can say, or shear stress you can say. Okay, I'll go to PPT. Okay, so now PPT is visible. You just pin out to my another account. Okay, now so shear force or shear stress is defined as, so the stress which is going to occur parallel to the cross-sectional area, so you can term that as a shear stress. Now look out, I will take one example of a riveted joint here. I'll take one example of riveted joints. So let us consider you have two plates here. You have two plates. Okay. Now these two plates are connected with the help of a rivet here. Okay. These two plates are connected with the help of a rivet. Now this is what rivet which has been connected to two plates. Okay. So let us have now this is one plate which has been placed on upper position. Okay. This is what another plate which is connected in bottom position. Now let us imagine. So now this plate is subjected to tensile force of value P, and similarly this plate is subjected to value P. Now you just say me whether the plate remains as it is or whether the plate is going to make a bend, or the rivet is going to change its dimensions, or the rivet is going to shear. Whether plates remain same, plates remain same, or plates are going to displace. Now if the plates are going to remain the same, so then what is the possibility of rivet shear? Okay. Now you just look out here. Now this is what rivet, okay, which has been used to connect both plates, plate 1 and plate 2. Now if the load is more, it is going to cut at this location. It is going to cut this location, right? So what happens? So if shearing of rivet takes place, okay, so we'll draw the sheared out rivet here. This is one plate. This is another plate. So now what happens? Rivet is sheared off. Okay. Now if you consider its cross-sectional area, now you look out whether load is parallel to cross-section area or perpendicular to cross-section area. Whether load is parallel to cross-sectional area or perpendicular to cross-section area. Now I'll go for sheared out rivet here. Okay. Sheared out rivet. If you need more, I'll go for isometric view. So now this is what cross-sectional area of the rivet. Now load is applied in this direction. Okay, load is applied in this direction. Okay, so it has been sheared off. Now the stresses which is going to occur, at this cross-section area, is termed as a shear stress. Okay, so we can say the shear stress. So now I'll define when the external force acting on a component, okay, tends to slide the adjacent planes with respect to each other. The resulting stresses on these planes are called direct shear stresses. Okay, shear stresses. I'll go for one more example here for better understanding purpose. Okay, so now you have a one block. Here. Okay, so which is fixed at bottom. Surface. Now I will apply the load on this top surface F. So what will happen to the block? Whether the block remains the same or it is going to make a oblique or it is going to make a oscillate about its fixed position. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಲಾಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೋಯ್ತದ ಆಸೋಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದ whether the block remains in the same position or it is going to occupy the new position. Hello? Position same or it is going to make oscillation. Now let us look out here. Now this is what a block before application. After application, so the block is going to be tilted or block is going to be oscillates with respect to the base, right, with respect to the base. So now what happens if we consider an layer by layer of this element, okay, of this element. So now what happens, this layer try to slide. Now if you consider this is the one layer, this is another layer, this is another layer, okay. Now if you apply the load here, so now this layer tries to slide one over another, okay, try to slide one over another, so related to each other, adjacent to each other. So then you can call the stretch which is going to generate or the stress which is going to occur on these cross sectional area, on these cross sectional area, it is of what? Shear stress. Okay, it is of what? Shear stress. So now the shear stress noted with the letter tau, it is what? P by A. So unit is same, unit is same. Okay, right. So I'll stop. We'll continue in the next class. You please give the attendance.